Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. Well, happy 12th Sunday of Ordinary Time. And before we begin, I'd like to do a shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. May the intercession and the inspiration of St. Joseph guide you in your vocation as Christian fathers. Also, this is the first week back where our churches are going to be open for Sunday Mass. And it's very exciting. We've done a lot of work to be able to open our parishes, so please say a prayer for us as we begin this week. And then just to let you know that the Mass schedule for the coming weeks is the same Mass schedule that we've always had. The weekday Masses and the Sunday Masses, and you can go on the website to see the regular Mass schedule. We also have confessions at 4 o'clock on Saturdays before the 5 o'clock Mass, and an all-day adoration on Sunday. So the church is going to be open from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. So all day you can come in and pray and adore, and it's actually a great break from the heat. It's quite cool in the church, so it's very nice. So, in today's Gospel, I cannot imagine a more fitting proclamation for the first week back. In it, Jesus is describing to his disciples prior to this how they are going to go out and preach the gospel, but he also warns them about persecution and the suffering that will come as a result of it. And it's in today's gospel that he says to them, "Do not fear. Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul." Do not fear. Well, first, I think just to dwell on that Christ's words of encouragement to his disciples as they go out into a dangerous world to preach the saving message of Jesus Christ is do not fear, do not be afraid. Later on, he's going to give them the reason of why they shouldn't be afraid. He goes on to say that are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? What he means by that, a penny back then, it was this tiny little coin. It was the cheapest of all the coins, and it was 1/16 of a denarii. It was pretty much, it was like literally like a penny for today. And he's saying, are 2 of these not bought for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. What he's saying is that these cheap, little, tiny, insignificant creatures, not a single hair on their head will move or change without my Father planning it. And he's saying if he takes so much care to create a plan for those seemingly worthless creatures, then how much more does he have a plan for you? So do not be afraid. When suffering comes, don't worry. You are in my Father's hands. Now, when he tells them not to be afraid, he specifies what not to be afraid of. He says, do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. He's talking about all of those people the apostles will encounter who will persecute them, who will hurt them, all on account of Jesus Christ. But they cannot destroy their soul. Their soul belongs to God. But he does tell them someone to fear. He says, rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. He's talking about the devil, or any temptation that can come to try to rob us of the grace that Jesus Christ within us, to tempt us to sin, to tempt us to walk away from God. He says those are the legitimate things to fear, the things that take us away from heaven. But he says the things that harm you on earth, do you not think that my Father has a plan for that? And do you not think that, yes, if your time comes, which it did come for all of the 12 disciples, that my Father will welcome you into his kingdom and say, well done, good and faithful servant, enter into your reward. So what he's saying is God has a plan, don't worry. Now, I think that's very fitting for today. As we open up our churches, as we bring people in, is that I think there is a lot of fear going around. And it's fear that as we relax the restrictions that we have undergone over the last few months, we are now entering into greater danger of contracting COVID-19. And well, I think that's true. Anytime you relax a bit, you are entering into greater danger. But I think Christ's words are saying, do not fear, because my Father has a plan for you. Because we are in the hands of God, it doesn't mean that we don't take precautions. It doesn't mean that we don't plan to try to keep ourselves safe. But what it means is that once we've taken all the precautions we can put in place, once we've done everything that we can reasonably do to plan for it, we leave the rest up to God. And we let go of it. No longer fearing, but rather knowing that it's in the hands of God. We've done what He's asked us to do, and our souls belong to Him. Now, if you're watching this at home, it likely means that you probably didn't come to Mass this Sunday. And for many of you, that is probably very legitimate. Perhaps you have an immunodeficiency and legitimately, like, you cannot risk coming to Mass, because if you get COVID, it's very dangerous for you. Or perhaps you're of a certain age where, again, it's very dangerous for you, and the prudent thing is to stay home. Well, that's fine. You're using your head that God has given to you. And as a professor always told us, he said, God gave you a head, and if you use it, you might get to keep it. But perhaps may I address those of you who are at home. We're just on the cusp. Maybe you're not coming, and really, it's just fear. It's fear of what may happen when you come, but there's not really a lot of content to it, any different than the rest of us. Maybe there's some of you, maybe not, but if there's some of you, and you're watching this, do not be afraid. Christ wants to strengthen you with His Eucharist. Christ wants to fill you with His grace. Christ wants you to come and experience His presence in the sacrifice of the Mass. And now maybe if coming to Mass is too large of a step, may I propose Fridays. We have adoration all day. In total, there's probably 2 or 3 people in the church at any given time, so it's quite an empty place. But it's very quiet, very peaceful, and Jesus is right there on the altar, and you can pray to Him. May I propose that be the first step, as you ease yourself back to entering into Christ's church, to be able to pray in His presence. And in that prayer, let Him draw you in, and let Him cast out all fear, so that you might be filled with His grace and His strength. God bless, and I hope to see you at the church sometime. And and to let you know also, we do plan on continuing to do these homilies on the website until the church kind of gets back to regular normalcy, and so that for those of you who legitimately do need to stay at home, we can still have contact with you and can still serve you. All right, God bless. Happy Father's Day.